Hi folks, this is Karim Rauf from Adobe Visualizer channel. Today we'll continue our lab, the Red Alert lab. This is the video number 26. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been continuing working with securing our Windows 10 based on the recommendations of the Department of Defense and the Defense Information System Agency of the United States. This is the video number 9. This is the video number 10. We have been working now for 9 videos discussing the securing of Windows 10. So we have stopped the last time at this recommendation: Windows 10 exploit protection system level mediation data execution prevention must be on. Okay, what is exploit protection? Okay, there is a simple explanation about exploits. What is an exploit? Exploit, this is take advantage of a vulnerability in software. Okay, so exploit, it's taken advantage of vulnerabilities in a software. A vulnerability is like a hole in your software that can make malware use it to get onto your device. Malware exploits these vulnerabilities by bypassing your computer security safeguard to infect your device. So exploits, it's a kind of a hole in your software, or a security hole in your software. So Windows 10 have some kind of prevention or a guard, or to rectify this hole, or to protect you against exploit, okay, or security holes. This is done by two ways. This is done by the Windows Defender. So we have the Windows Defender. If we open this one, so the Windows Defender have something called application and browser control. This can protect you from exploits, and this is number one. We will talk about this kind of protection in the upcoming recommendations. So there is a lot of recommendations concerning exploit prevention or exploit protection. These are done by the Windows Defender. Okay, and we have another thing. So if we go to the exploit protection setting here, we can see that there is a lot of things here to prevent exploit on your devices. Okay, we will talk one by one. There is something called current control flow. So this is a kind of exploit that Windows Defender protects your PC from it. It's called ensure control flow integrity for indirect calls. We will talk or discuss one by one what are these exploit kinds. Okay, we have data execution prevention, prevents code from being run from data only memory pages. So we are talking here about exploit protection. Okay, and the one that will protect you from exploits on your softwares or your device, we will talk about the Windows Defender. By the way, the Windows Defender have two parts, or have two sections, one concerning the firewall, okay, and one concerning the antivirus. If you have a third-party software installed as an antivirus, it will disable the Windows Defender antivirus. This is first part. The second part is the Windows Defender as a firewall. Okay, it will work, and it will still work. Okay, and I think also that not all of the Windows Defender antivirus functionalities are disabled when you install a third-party software. There is some things still working, and my clue, or my let's say not my clue, we can see that in the recommendation is talking about these kind of this kind of protection. That means that they are working with Windows Defender, and I think in the Department of Defense, I think they have a third-party software also. So that means that are working both with the third-party antivirus and the Windows Defender. Okay, so we will talk about this one by one, because the upcoming recommendations will talk about it. So let's go and see what these recommendations say. It say that data execution prevention must be on. If you go to the Windows Defender, if you can see here that in Windows Defender, just a moment, in Windows Defender we have data protection. Okay, data protection option, it is on the system setting. By the way, there is exploit protection on the system as a whole and on programs one by one. So there is a protection as a whole on the system and all of its software, and then there is special protection for every software. So you can change the protection setting for the system as a whole, or explode protection setting as a whole to the system or to certain programs one by one. So let's go and see first of all what is data protection, or what is called data protection prevention. It is a security feature that can help prevent damage to your computer from viruses and other security threats. Harmful programs can try to attack Windows by attempting to run code from system memory locations reserved for Windows and other authorized programs. These types of attacks can harm your program and files. Sometimes there is some malware that even after you have removed it from the PC, it still comes again and infect the PC. This is because they are residing in the memory, okay, of the PC. So the data execution prevention will help you to block this kind of attacks. So the malware will not be able to infect the memory, and from infecting the memory he can re-attack your PC again. So this is done by enabling the data execution prevention option on the Windows Defender, okay, and we have it already on the system of Windows. By clicking properties we can see also that if we go to system protection, I think, or advanced setting, yes, advanced setting, and then we can go to system protection, sorry, not system protection, it is in the advanced, I think, and then in yes, in performance, yes, and then data execution prevention. Here we can see that it is turned on for all programs and services, okay. So this is, it is enabled here on the Windows level or on the system level and in the Windows Defender. So let's see what does he say. If it is not off, or it is off, or it's not enabled, how we can enable it. So we need to go and see. We will run a PowerShell script to see if the data execution prevention is on. And the data execution prevention, it's a kind of protection that will help you to protect your PC from exploit or some kind of exploits, okay, that some malware does, okay. So we need to go and see if it is already working on our PC. We need to open this option, data execution prevention, on all of our Windows 10 PCs, okay. So we are protected from a kind of exploit, okay, that infects our memory, okay, a kind of exploit that infects our memory, okay. So let's see if we run this command and see if we have the data execution prevention already enabled. So let's right click and paste, okay, this is on my Power Workstation. Let's see if we have the DEP or the data execution prevention, it is already enabled or not. So let's see. And by the way, it is very simple. It's, if it is disabled, we can run a PowerShell command to enable it, or we can enable it from the Windows itself or the Windows setting. So let's go and see here the data execution prevention. It is enabled already. No set means here that it is already enabled. So we are good to go. We have our data execution prevention enabled. So that's it. We have it. If it is off, then this is a finding, but if it is no set, this is acceptable, okay. So let's go and continue. Let's go and continue. Okay, so this is no set, so here we are good to go. Okay, so now we can see it's no set. It is on by default. So we have the DEP or the data execution prevention. It's already enabled by default on the Windows operating system. How we can know it is turned on? We can go to the Windows Defender Security Center, App and Control, Exploit Prevention setting, and then see data execution prevention. This is the one that I was talking about. So we can run a PowerShell command to know if you have the DEP or the data execution prevention on, or we can go to the Windows Defender like we will close it from here, and then we will open the Windows Defender, and then we go to application and browser, and then we go down to execution or exploit protection system setting, and here we can see that it is on by default. Okay, this is on by default. So here we can know if our data execution prevention is on by two ways: by the PowerShell or by the Windows Defender, or we can know this also from the Windows setting, as we had said before. From here, if you go to advanced setting and then we go to setting and then data execution, here it is on already. So we have this kind of things, or it is already enabled, so it's already working. And here is some help from the Department of Defense. They have an XML file. Okay, this file contains some configuration to help us protect our software, protect our software on our machine. So we know that data execution prevention will help us to protect our memory from malware infection. So the Department of Defense have an XML file that contains some configuration setting for the data execution prevention to help us protect more our PCs. So let's see this kind of file and what does it contain. So let's wait for a moment, guys. Sorry. So let's continue, guys. Here we can see that there is data execution prevention for the system as a whole, and it's data execution prevention for every program one by one. So for example, if we go and see, for example, here if you go to program setting, and then we can choose any one of these programs and tell him edit. Okay, let's have a look here. Here we can see that if we go further, these are all kind of protection or exploit protection. If we go down here, we can see that we can go to data execution prevention. So for example, this is for the Adobe. The Adobe have data execution prevention, and it is taking it from the system. Okay, so there is two levels of protection: a system level protection and a program level protection. So here we can see that it has inherited its data execution prevention from the system configuration. So what we can see here, that if you go to the system setting, here we see that the DoD have, or the Department of Defense have, give us some configuration to the data execution prevention for the programs. Okay, so let's see what this file contains. If we go to this file, I will show you all what this file contains. If we go and go to, let me show you all what this file contains. Sorry guys, because it's already in a place. Here we can see that this is the file, and we can go further to the Windows 10, and then we can go to supporting documents. Here is the file. If we open it, okay, let's tell him edit. Here we can see that actually it is a file, it's XML file. Here we can see that, for example, this is the data execution prevention setting for the OneDrive. Okay, so the OneDrive is a software for saving or for storing files online. Okay, so here we can see that these are the setting for the data execution prevention, and this is the Firefox. Okay, there is also some setting concerning the data execution prevention for the Firefox software. So we will use this XML file and implement it to all of our Windows 10 workstations, and it will contain, or it will help us to protect against exploits and very kinds, or a lot of kinds of exploits. One of these exploits is the data execution prevention, and there is other kinds of exploits. The data execution prevention is one of them, and then we have, for example, control flow guard, and we have randomized memory allocation. So we have a lot of kinds of exploits and a lot of exploit protection types. Okay, so we have here a recommendation to open the data prevention. We have already opened it, and to make sure that the data execution prevention setting done by the Department of Defense applied to all of our workstations that contain Windows 10 in the domain, we will push it by a group policy. And by the way, this XML file will not contain only data execution prevention, but it will contain other kinds of exploit protection. So let's see how we can implement this kind of recommendation. So if you go to the supporting files folder, that's the one I have done in a couple of seconds, and then we will take this file and apply it to all of our workstations in the domain. Here we see that the DEP, it's already on. We will go and apply the XML file of the Department of Defense. But anyway, I think here I'm just checking, yes, the Windows Defender. So here we can go and check the Windows Defender and see, based on the recommendations, and see if the DEP is enabled or not. So we can go to Application and Browse Control, or open Windows Security, that's it, and then we can see if the data execution prevention is on. Okay, so I think that the security, or Windows Defender security, it's different than the Windows Defender antivirus. Anyway, so it is working. It will work. It will not be disabled if you install a third-party software. Anyway, so it's already on, and then we can apply a couple of settings to help us prevent exploit, or to prevent kinds of exploits using an XML file. So these are the exploit protection setting. We can open it here and see the different kind of exploits, the one that I have shown you in a couple of seconds. So here we can see that the data execution prevention, it's on. So we will have a file, XML file, that will enable DEP on the Windows 10 workstations, and will configure some setting for this kind of exploit protection. So we'll go to exploit protection. So you got Windows Components, Windows Defender Exploit Guard. So this is a software, it's not Windows Defender Antivirus, this is Windows Defender Exploit Guard. Then exploit protection, use a common set of exploit protection setting, and we will import, or we will tell this group policy to get the file offered for us by the Department of Defense, and this file contains configurations for the exploit protection. So let's see how we can do this. First of all, we will take the file. Just to make it quicker, I know the file location, and we will take this file. Okay, here we can see that there is a lot of settings, okay, concerning different exploit protection types, so, or different types of exploits and their protection. So one of the things concerning the protection against exploit, it is the data execution prevention. So we will take the file, and then we will apply it to all of our PCs in the domain. So take care to revise this file, because maybe it contains some restrictive settings, because this is for the Department of Defense, and actually or of course the software used by the Department of Defense differs from the others used by multinational companies or normal companies. So we need to check the file and see the data execution prevention setting and the other exploit protection setting, okay, to make sure it will work without any problems with our softwares in our domain or in our workstation. So here we'll take Windows Defender Exploit Guard, and then use a common set of exploit protection setting, and then we'll tell him a UNN path or a shared path, okay, so we can apply it to all of our PCs in the domain. We have a folder called backgrounds, we have already shared it, and we can share it, or we can tell the workstations to get their data or exploit protection setting from this shared location. Here is saying that once these settings are applied, you cannot change them. The only way to change them is to reset them, okay, to reset them by a command or by another XML file. So once you have applied this setting, you cannot change them, okay, you cannot change them by a group policy, or you cannot change them in bulk. You have to change it one by one, I think. Or actually I think it cannot be changed as a whole. So if you need to change the setting for the explode protection setting after applying some files with some configuration, need to reset the whole explode protection setting and begin working from the start. Okay, so let's see how this will be applied. So I will put it in a shared location. Okay, server share and then the configuration, and then I will put the file, and it will be applied to all of our Windows Defender Explode protection, or Windows Defender Explode guard. Okay, so we need to do this. So we'll apply it. So first we will copy it and put it in our shared folder, and then apply to all. Here we can see this is another kind of explode protection called randomized memory allocations must be on. This is another kind of protection from explodes. The first one is the data execution prevention, and we have known what is data execution prevention. What is randomized memory allocations? This is another kind of exploit that Windows Defender Explode Guard help us to avoid it. What is the randomized memory allocations? Let's see. We can have a look here on what is randomized memory allocation. We can go to the reference here. What's called randomized memory allocation. So arbitrary mode. We go and see what is the description of this kind of explode attacks. So we can see here explode guard, data execution prevention, and then we can go to, okay, just wait for a moment here. We can go to export filtering. No. Okay, randomize or ASLR. I think this is the one. ASLR. What is ASLR? Address layout randomize or ASLR mitigates the risk of an attacker using the knowledge of the memory layout of the system in order to execute code that's already present in process memory and already marked as executable. This can mitigate the risk of an attacker using techniques such as blah blah blah. So it's also a technique to attack the PC from the memory. Okay, but we need to have more about what is an LSR. So let's see, or we can search for LSR. So let's see what is this talk. What is memory address allocation? So let's see this. Let's have here. Address layout is a memory protection process for operating system that guards against buffer overflow attacks by randomizing the location where systems executables are loaded in the memory. Anyway, it's not so clear actually. So here what is LSR and what is DEP? Okay, LSR, let's see here. It is DEP LSR effectiveness DEP without LSR. No, not I need to LSR. Attackers can often make assumptions about the address space layout of a process when developing an exploit. Anyway, so it is a kind of protection for the memory, okay, against attacks from the malware. So this is one of the things, and we need to make sure it is already enabled. So we can go and check our Windows Defender Explode Guard and see. So this is also another kind of attacks, okay, that malware can do, and it's concerning the RAM. So we have two kind of exploits that focus on the RAM and focus on infecting the RAM, and then from infecting the RAM it will infect the whole PC. So this is one of the things we need to see if it's already on or not. So we can go and run our PowerShell command and see if the ASLR it is already on or not. If it's no set, this is okay. If it's off, then this is a finding. So let's see also and open our POW workstation and see if this kind of protection is on or not. So all of these are kinds of protections to help us mediate, exploit holes or something. So let's see here ASLR. So if you go to ASLR, it is already bottom up. This is the one that we need to check. It is no set, so that means it's already on. Okay, and we will apply certain setting to this ASLR from the XML file that we will apply, and it is provided by the Ministry of Defense or the Department of Defense. So we can go also and check and see if it's already enabled. It's already enabled. When we have checked it using the PowerShell, we can see it from the Windows Defender exploit guard, and we need to apply certain setting to this randomized memory allocation setting. Okay, and it will be configured from the XML file. So this XML file will contain different configurations for different kind of exploit protection mechanism. Okay, one of them is the DEP and the other one is the randomized memory allocations. Then we will go to the next kind of protection, which is something called control flow guard. This is another kind of exploit protection. What is control flow guard? We can go and see or read what is control flow guard. We can read from here what is control flow guards. Let's go there. Here we can go further, data execution prevention, and we can go here control flow guard. Control flow guard mitigate the risk of attackers using memory corruption vulnerabilities by protecting indirect function calls. For example, an attacker may use a buffer or may use a buffer flow vulnerability to overwrite memory containing a function pointer. Anyway, so this is also another kind of exploit protection, or a way also the hackers can use the memory to infect the system. So there we have three kind of exploits, and all are concentrated on the memory. The hacker will use the memory to infect, or he will infect his malware, he will infect the memory with his malware, and from infecting the memory he will infect the whole PC. So this is what we call control flow guard. Let's see if we can have CFG. Let's see if we can search for Google about it. So first of all, what is Windows Defender Exploit Guard? It is an anti-malware software that provides intrusion prevention or intrusion protection for users with the Windows 10 operating system. Okay, exploit protection helps protect devices from malware that uses exploits or security holes in the softwares to spread and infect other devices. So this is basically what you are talking about. What is CFG? CFG control, let's see, CFG control flow. So let's see here. It's a representation. No, it's not this one. It is called control flow guard. So let's see, control flow guard. Okay, it is a highly optimized platform security feature that was created to combat memory corruption vulnerabilities. Okay, so this is basically what is control flow guard. It's a highly optimized platform security feature. So it's a security feature that is created to combat or to fight memory corruption vulnerabilities. Okay, so what is control flow guard? Anyway, so it is also a kind of protection to the memory. So we have three kinds of exploit protection: one control flow guard protection, one data execution prevention, and access or randomized access whatsoever. What we are saying here, randomized access. Let's see what is its name exactly. It is randomized access. Yes, randomized for images, or forced randomization for images. So we have three kinds of exploit protection, okay, that will protect our PC, and it is focusing on the memory. So we need to know if it's already enabled or not. So we need to go and see the PowerShell command and see if it's already enabled in the Windows Defender Explode Guard. So if it's no set, then this is correct. If it's off, then it means that we are at risk. Okay, so here we can see that ASCFG it's already enabled, so we don't worry about this one. It's already enabled, and we have said before we have an XML file that will configure this setting on a wide range. Okay, here we can see there is another kind of protection called SEHOP. So this is another kind. It's called structured exception handling override protection. Okay, this is a kind also of exploit protection mechanism. What is it? Let me see, or let us see the description of this kind. So randomized memory allocation. Let's see here. Let's go and see, not this one. So let's go again and see. Yes, this is a mediation against structured exception handler override. Anyway, so is the process by which an application can ask to handle a particular exception. Exception handlers are chained together so that if one exception handler chooses not to handle a particular exception, it can be passed on to the next exception handler in the chain until one decides to handle it. Because anyway, so an attacker can stack overflow. Anyway, it's a kind of mechanism against hacking or something. This is I don't know. Let's see if we have another more explanatory or something we can explain more. What is SCOP? It's a feature. Let's see here. What is advanced SHOP? This feature prevents attackers from exploiting certain software vulnerabilities to successfully attack a system. It is basically a mediation technique to prevent successful exploit of a vulnerable software on the PC. Even if you update your PC and software, as soon as updates are released, you may still have vulnerability software which attacker can find vulnerabilities not known for instant, yet known for instant. Okay, if you are interested, before I'm going to explain how we can enable, no, not this one, I need to know what is SEHOP, so we can know exactly what is HEOP. Okay, let's see here, what does it say? Okay, means all meanings can belong to SOP abbreviation, can take only one part memory terminology unless SOP abbreviation. It means structured handler, so this is the name, but we need to know more about it. So glossary. Anyway, so this is a kind of protection against exploits. We need to apply it. Okay, we don't know what does it do actually, but we need to make sure it is enabled in the Windows Defender Explode Guard, and if it's not enabled, it will be enabled by a group policy. Okay, so it will be opened by a group policy, and this group policy will contain an XML file that contains different configurations for different exploit protection techniques. Okay, so we'll have an XML file to configure all of this setting on all of our PCs in the domain. Okay, so here if you go and see HAOP, we can see it's enabled to no set, so it's already there, so it is enabled already. Let me see how much time we have. Okay, we have 34 minutes. So now this is it, and then we have already applied this common set of exploit protection setting. We have already enabled it, and we will tell him the path. So we will put our file. Let's go and put our DoD file and apply this exploit protection setting to all of our PCs in the domain. Okay, so this will configure the Windows Defender exploit guard setting. Okay, and we have checked the file and see that there is a couple of settings configured, and it will be applied to all of our PCs in the domain. And here is the path that will contain the file. So we will tell the group policy to get this file from here. So we will go and tell the group policy to apply a set of exploit protection setting to our Windows Defender. Okay, this is our recommendations by the Department of Defense. So here we will put the file name, okay, and he will apply it to all of our PCs in the domain. Okay, so we don't need even to activate the option, because this file contains all of the options we need, and it will activate it and it will configure it. Okay, so we can check one of the other PCs after applying this group policy. Okay, here we can see that there is something called validate heap integrity. So what is validate heap integrity? Another kind of exploit. Validate heap integrity. Let's see what is heap integrity. Validate heap integrity increases the protection level of heap meditations in Windows by causing applications to terminate if a heap corruption is detected. And the meditation include preventing. So what is heap integrity or validate heap integrity? Let's see if we can search also for this one. What is heap integrity? So all of these features in the heap manager designed to detect heap metadata corruption and terminate an application safely if corruption is detected. So it is basically focusing on if an application is corrupted, it can be terminated once there is a corruption in the software. I think this is it. Designed to detect heap metadata corruption and terminate an application safely if corruption is detected. Okay, so this is one also of the kind of exploit mechanism and their protection. So let's also make sure it is already enabled. So we'll go and check if heap termination or heap it's already no set, so it's already on, and we have already configured our XML file to push it to all of our PCs. Okay, so this is it, it's already there, so it's configured. And then here we will begin this is all we have done before. This is on the system level. Then he will begin configuring exploit protection setting to software one by one. Okay, so he will open the Acrobat Reader and will begin putting exploit protection setting to the software. So we have done all of these exploit protection setting to the system as a whole, and then we'll begin configuring exploit protection setting to every program one by one. Okay, and if you see the file XML contains these setting or exploit protection setting, it is in the XML file, and it will be applied automatically to all of our Windows Defender exploit guards. Okay, so we don't need to check the setting or configure them. The XML file will do the trick. But anyway, let's see how we can check the exploit, for example, meditations in for a software. If you go, for example, here, if we go to the Windows Defender here and then go to the programs, and then we can go to the Adobe Reader. Let me go and open the Adobe Reader. So I think maybe here is the Adobe. Yes, this is the Adobe. Let me show here. It is Acrobat, but I don't have it. Let's just wait for a moment. So for example, I have Acrobat Reader 32. Maybe this is the one. Okay, and then edit it, and then here one of these setting we need to check. He will give us setting concerning the Adobe Reader concerning the exploit protection. So let's see what he is talking about, or let's see if I have Acrobat Reader installed on my workstation and if these settings are enabled. So here we can see that he is talking about, for example, data execution prevention. This setting should be false, and then another execution exploit protection setting, it should be on. So there is some exploit protection settings should be opened or closed for the Adobe program. So let's see how we can get this setting for the program, not for the system. Okay, so let's issue the command and see it will give us any feedback. Actually, I don't have Acrobat Reader installed on the POW workstation, so it will not get any let's say any result. Okay, so if we do this, we will right click and paste. Okay, not set. So we'll go and copy, but we need to copy the whole command, not this command only. So if we copy it, for example, if we opened, let me show you all. First of all, we need to issue the command and then see if there is any exploit protection setting for the Adobe. But we will take the whole line and then we will see if there is any feedback, and I will show you all. We will open the XML file and see what is the setting for the Adobe Reader file, okay, or Adobe Reader program. Here it doesn't return any result, so because I don't have Adobe installed. So let's see if we go to the file or the XML file. Let me open the folder again and show you all what are the settings. If we go to there and important CD images, and then we can go to the folder of the Department of Defense, and then extracted, and then Windows 10, and then support setting, and then we can right click and tell him open with maybe Internet Explorer. Let's see what are the settings. Okay, it will give us some. So here there are some settings. Let's tell him Adobe Acrobat. So here, for example, here is Adobe Acrobat. Here we can see that it has the data execution prevention, override depth false, ASLR forcefully allocate image true, payload override false. So these are all settings related to exploit protection or exploit prevention. Okay, so these are all of the settings. Once we apply this file, all of these settings for the exploits prevention on the Windows Defender exploit guard will be applied to the Acrobat Reader. So these are all we have. All here, for example, we have for the Chrome, we have for the Internet Explorer. So these are all settings for exploit prevention or exploit protection, and it will be done or it will be applied through the Windows Defender exploit guard. So this is it. We need to go and continue working. Let's see how much time we have. Okay, then we will continue working with the remaining of the PDF, so we can continue working. Here we can see that I don't have any Adobe Reader, so these are all exploit protection settings should be applied. Okay, so here we can see that all of them, and it could be applied, should be applied from the XML file, so we can apply them from the XML file. So this is it, and this is for the Acrobat Reader also as well. So this is 2 exploit protection meditations for the Acrobat, okay, or the Adobe Reader software. Okay, so basically you have known what we do, and then we have for the Chrome. Okay, for example, I don't have Chrome, so we can pass this one, but we have known the mechanism, so we can apply all of this setting using the XML file. Okay, so we don't have Chrome, and I don't here I don't also have Office, so there is also some exploit protection meditations for the Excel, but I don't have Excel actually, so we don't have it. Just a moment. So let's continue, guys. Here we don't have also Firefox, so all of these settings are exploit protection setting for different software. So we set the exploit protection setting for the system as a whole, and then we begin configuring explode protection setting for every program one by one. Okay, I think this is I don't know what is FLT LTDR, but I will check and see. I will run this program, or I will run this PowerShell to see if I have this software available on my PA workstation. But anyway, we have known the trick. We need to apply certain explode protection setting to different software. Okay, so this is done, and it will be also listed in the XML file. The Groove, this is one of the softwares in the Office. I don't have it. Then we have iExplorer, so I have this one already. I have Internet Explorer. So let's see what are the explode protection setting for this software. So let's open it and see it. Here we can see that these are all of the settings. We can check here, so these are the settings. You can check them, okay, and revise them with the PDF. So let's see if they are in line with the PDF itself. So if we can go and check depth, override depth to be false, and then ASLR, force reallocate images to be on, and then payload, all of these settings are false. So we need to check and see if these settings are in line. Okay, so if they are not, so for example, if one of these settings is not correct, it will be reapplied or reconfigured by the XML file that we have put in the group policy, so don't worry. So here we can see that force reallocation, it is on. Let's see here, I think depth, it's override depth, it is false, so this is correct. And then we have force allocation on, and then these setting override export address filter. So all of these are kinds of exploits, and these exploits are protected, okay, or it is protected as an option here. Okay, so you can see that override export address filter, it is false. So here these are the settings. We need to revise them and see if they are all enabled. Okay, we can revise them one by one, but even if one of the settings is not in line with the PDF, you can apply it using the XML file. So this is it. We can apply more, or we can go further. So these are some recommendations to protect your PC from different kind of exploits, and especially some of them are concerning the RAM. Okay, so here we don't have this program also. So all of these are not on my PC. Here we can see that the Java, I don't have Java installed also. So these are all exploit protection mechanism to different software. So we will continue working. Link also, this is Link, this is another software like WhatsApp, but it's not I think it is not supported by Microsoft anymore. So anyway, so these are all kind of protection against malware, okay, or attackers. Okay, here we will continue. And MS Access, I don't have MS Access actually. I didn't install Office. MS Pub, I don't have it. Okay, and even if I have it, just check and see if the configurations are online with the PDF or not. Okay, and if it's not, then we will apply the settings using the XML file. Okay, so plugin container, I don't know what is plugin container, so we need to check and see I have this kind of program or not. So we'll take this PowerShell command and see if I have this software installed on my PAW or not. So we can do this. So right click key and paste. Here we don't have it, so because there is no result returned, so we can continue working. PowerPoint, I don't have PowerPoint, so let's continue. PPT view, I think I don't have it also. Visio, this is also a software for Office, I don't have it. Okay, we will continue. vPreview, I think also I don't have this kind of software. WinWord, I don't have it, this is for the Office. And then VM Player, so I have this is the Windows Media Player, so let's see if I have it. actually it is replaced by another software, but when I run the command I don't find didn't return anything, so this software is not installed on my PC. So let's continue. WordPad, this is already there. We have WordPad. All of us have WordPad installed by default in our Windows 10 operating system. So let's see the setting and revise it. Okay, there is no WordPad. Actually, maybe because this is the Windows 10 LTSC, so it doesn't contain WordPad. Here we can see that we have reached the point that we need to have direct memory access protection must be enabled. This is a kind of protection to the memory to help it or to protect it against some kind of malware, okay, that use something called PCI hot plug devices connected to Thunderbolt port. So this is a kind of protection to the memory to help it against different malware attacks. So we need to enable this option. So let's see how we can enable it. We will go to the group policy, to administrative templates, system kernel DMA protection, and then we will open the kernel DMA protection enable enumeration policy set to block all. So this is a kind of protection to the memory against some kind of malware attack. So let's go to the group policy and enable this option. Okay, so let's go there, go to the group policy. First of all, we can check the registry, but I think it's not enabled actually. So we need to go and check or to make the group policy to apply this kind of protection. Okay, so we'll go to I think to system, maybe, yes, not Windows components, to system, and then data, I think it's called kernel DMA protection. This is the one, and then we tell him enable, and then we need to tell him to block all. Okay, so let's go and tell him block all. Okay, that's it, and then apply it. So this is a kind of protection. Then the upcoming recommendations is concerning the websites, okay, that the Department of Defense access. So they need all of the websites that are made by the Department of Defense. They should have a certificate and they should be installed to the PC. So for example, to secure DoD websites, and DoD signed code are property validated to secure DoD websites. So there is websites for the Department of Defense, and some clients within or inside the Department of Defense need to access these websites. To secure this connection, the DoD websites issue a certification and give them to the clients so they can verify that they are the only one authorized to access these kind of websites. Let me wait and see what is okay. We have some time, so we need to have these certifications installed on the clients within the Department of Defense so they can access the secure websites of the DoD, or to make sure that only the authorized personnel access these websites. So not all personnel are allowed to access DoD websites. So to know this or to verify this, we need to install the DoD Root Certifications. Must be installed in the Trusted Root store within the client's PC. So we will not be able to access DoD websites unless this certification is there. Okay, so we need to do this. But actually I don't have this, or I will not access the DoD websites. So we will not apply this setting. And if we need to issue a PowerShell command to know if we have this kind of certification within my Power workstation, this is the command. But anyway, I don't have it because actually I will not access the DoD websites. But you can issue the command and see if this kind of certification is installed on your Power workstation. So this is another kind of securing. We will secure access to our Department of Defense websites by issuing certificates and give them to the users that are authorized and allowed to access the website. Okay, so if a user doesn't have this certification issued from the web server, he will not access the website. Okay, so this is it, and this is very simple way to secure accessing your websites. So anyway, we don't have it. I don't have the root certification for the DoD or the Department of Defense. I tried to access the website, but actually I don't have the authorization to access it. So anyway, this is a way to secure DoD websites. Okay, so I tried to search and see if I can access the website, but anyway, nothing help here. And then these are also some certifications. Let's see here. To ensure external certificate authority server are properly validated, the system will ensure that trust chain is established for server certificate issued from the external CA. This requirement applies to unclassified systems. To ensure secure websites protected with the external certificate authority. So there is some websites, they have this certification that validates that they are secure, so you will not be able to access, or let's see this, a website. So let's continue, guys. Here we will install a certification for external certificate authority. Okay, so any website that have this certification, we will be allowed to access it. If the website doesn't have this certification, so we will not be able to access the website. So this is a kind of securing your access to websites from within your domain or within your environment. So we will have the certification of the DoD installed, so we can access websites of the DoD, and we will have this certification installed, so any website have this certification, we will know it is a secure website. Okay, so this is another way for securing accessing your clients to servers. Okay, to secure websites. Okay, so this is a kind of securing accessing your site. So if a site doesn't have the certification of external certificate authority, it will not be prompted, or you will not be able to access it. So we need to install this certification, but I don't know where we can get it actually. This is a command, or this is a PowerShell command to run and get this certification to know if it's already installed or not. So we can run the command and press enter. We don't have it. So how we can get it? This is let's see if he give us a link or something. So let's see how we can get it. So what is here? It is, yes, install rootkit or rootkit tool. This is, it's ECA. Let's see what is ECA. If we can go and tell him ECA certification. Okay, this is also related to the Department of Defense, so you will not be able to do it. Okay, our digital credential that attest to the certification owner's identity and affiliation. Okay, so this can be issued to people who reside in the US or within a country that is approved by the United States. So it is trusted by the DoD. Okay, so it is issued to validate the owner's identity. Okay, so this is a digital credential. Okay, so I think this is kind of securing to know the website and its credentials and its info. Anyway, so we will not be able to access it because we are not within the United States. So let's continue working. We're not able to access this kind, or to install this kind of certification, so we'll not be able to access it anyway. So another thing, so we'll not be able to do this recommendation. We can continue working with the other one. Also, this is our root certifications for the Department of Defense. So these are all certifications to secure accessing to websites concerning the Department of Defense. So let's continue. Here he is talking about the registry, and we need to see the default permissions for some parts of the registry. Okay, so we need to know who can access the registry and change in the registry. Let's see here how much time we have. Okay, so let's take this point and then we'll stop here. We need to see if, for example, the registry key part concerning the machine, so there is some parts or there is a lot of parts in the registry. First part to change or play with the machine setting, and another part is play with the user's setting. Okay, so we need to check and see if this part of the registry concerns the machine are accessed by certain users. Okay, so we need to see, we will need to check and see who is authorized to access the registry, especially the local machine part of the registry. The registry is an integral to the functional security and stability of the Windows. Changing the system's registry permissions allow the possibility of unauthorized and anonymous modifications to the operating system. Okay, we can have a little bit of what is Windows registry. Is a collection of database of configuration setting for Windows operating system. So it is a hierarchical database that stored low-level setting for Microsoft Windows operating system and for applications that opt to use the registry, the kernel devices, so and so. So it is a database that contains all of the configurations of the different parts of the Microsoft operating system. So if you change it, then you are playing with the operating system settings. So we need to take care that it's not available for anyone. So we need to check and see if the permissions are for example, here we can see that only for systems, the system user and the administrator user. So we need to make sure that this part of the registry is only accessed by the system user. This is a user for Windows and it is used by the system, and the administrators or the local administrators can access this this part of the registry. So we can go and check the registry. So we'll go there, open the registry, okay, and then go. We know how we can get to the registry. If we go there, it's right click and run and then reg edit, and then we will go to the local machine and then right click and then permissions, okay, and then we need to see if we tell him advanced permissions, we need to see who have access to this part of the registry. So we can tell him advanced. Here we can see that only system and administrators have full control. The other ones have read. So only the one that able to change the setting to the registry are the system user and the administrators group, or the administrator which is a part of the administrators local group. So this is a kind of setting we need to take care. So we need to check and see, and then we have local machine, and then we have local we have in the local machine we have some parts, local machine security. So changing the local machine security setting or changing the local machine software setting. So the local machine itself has different parts. So you can change the setting for the local machine concerning the security and change the local machine's software setting, and you can specify the software. Okay, so we can go there, and then let's see if you go there again. Let's go further again. You go there, let's see here. First of all, this is the HKey local machine. We need to check the security part, so we can go and maximize the setting. So we can go there, we will cancel. No, we need to cancel, and then we open not the local machine. We need to see the security part and the software part. So we need to maximize the HKey local machine. So we will go there and open the local machine, and then we go to the security. So we check the security and software. So we check permissions, and then we'll go to advanced. Here you can see we only have two, system and administrators, full control and special, and this is exactly what this PDF says, full control and special. So we have it correct. Then we need to check the part concerning the software. So we need to see users have read administrators have full control, system has full control, creator owner have full control, all application packages have full control, and then we need to check the system part as well. So we need to check all of these and see if they are in line or they have the permissions correctly. So we will stop. Let me check here. We need to stop at this setting, or let me get to this setting again. So we'll stop at disable the administrator, or disable the administrator built-in account. This is we will stop at minute 1 hour and 1, and we will continue in part 11. Hope this video is informative to you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.